Good morning and welcome to today's pet pairing. We are starting a few steps ahead into the process. I've already applied everything up until my face powder. We're going to do a bronzer, blush, highlighter together, then we're going to do the eyes, and we're going to try to be concise about this because I still don't have my regular SD card. I have my small, whimsical, fills up very quickly SD card, and basically I'm just going to cut the shenanigans and we're going to jump right into the makeup. I'm going to apply my bronzer, and for that I'm going to take one of my new Charlotte Tilbury Sun-Kissed Glow bronzers. This is the shade medium. Yesterday I wore the shade fair, and I still love both of these so much. I love everything about these bronzers, the packaging, the actual product, just the whole experience. The formula is such a pleasure to work with because it essentially blends itself. I don't have to really do much. I just got a message from my colleague that she returned my SD card. It's at my desk at work. But anyway, I was talking about the bronzer and how much I enjoy it. I really like the shade Fair. Obviously, you need to be into those more like one of you. Lydia, did you call this a bronzer? That's a word I didn't know. A bronzer shade, so if you don't really like more cooler leaning bronzers and you really like your bronzers to be more warm toned and like an actual bronzy shade, then you're probably not going to like the shade Fair. For my blush today, I'm going to pull out one of my Sucum melting powder blushes. This is the shade 05, which is this very interesting nudie, orangey, yellow leaning blush. It's a very unique color, and I really enjoy pairing it with my more like golden warmer type of looks. Spoiler for the look that we're going to do today. Yet another product in a shade that I don't think is going to be for everyone, because this has very strong sort of yellow tones to it. So I think if you are a little bit more cool in your undertones, you're probably not going to like this. But if you're like me, like neutral to warmer tone, this is probably one of the most unique shades of blush that you're going to have in your collection. Unfortunately, I haven't really seen Cult Beauty restock these melting powder blushes recently, so that's a shame. I hope that they eventually will do that. I'm going to grab my Sucum melting powder blush in the shade 101, which was part of their summer collection, in order to complete my face makeup look. And then I have to deal with my camera, because for whatever reason she says that I only have 3 minutes left of filming time, which is impossible because I cleaned the stupid SD card. So this is very annoying. Alright, so let's get started on the eye look. I realized that I haven't really done anything with the Bronze Seduction palette for one of my pet pairing videos recently. So I figured today we can dip partially into this palette. The first shade I'm going to take is this mid-tone brown, which for me is actually a pretty deep brown. And I'm going to apply this shade through my crease. So today Pat is launching her duos, and I'm curious what you guys are picking up. I've settled on, I think, only that duo blush with the more nudie brown peach sienna shade, and I'm obviously not going to pay for express shipping for that, because there's absolutely no point in me paying so much money to get that one blush faster. So, you know, probably it will be here sometime in July, knowing Pat's shipping, especially with new launches. As you will notice, I'm packing quite a good amount of this shade onto my outer corner and crease area, because I don't plan on deepening up my crease and outer corner any more than this shade has already done. In an unfortunate turn of events, my NYX glitter glue packaging completely broke, like the nozzle just like pinched off. So I had to depot my NYX glitter glue, and I chose to depot it in a too small of a container. So now my NYX glitter glue looks like this. It's a complete mess, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of hate it. So I'm going to continue using it like this for as long as I can, for as long as it hasn't dried out. I hope now that there is so much of it in here, it's not going to dry as fast as it did before when I tested it out with a smaller amount. But it is very annoying that the packaging broke off like this. With that said, I think if I repurchase a glitter glue, it will still be this one, because it was quite inexpensive. And next time I'm just going to be more mindful of the packaging and the fact that it is very prone to breaking off at the nozzle, and just be more careful with that, I guess. Or maybe I'll just have better luck next time, who knows. Next I'm going to take the beautiful C3PO palette, and I'm going to dip into my favorite shade in this palette, which is this beautiful sort of like gold green, super interesting, flaky, very metallic eyeshadow. It's not one of Pat's special shades, but it is a really beautiful eyeshadow with a really gorgeous glow to it. And I'm going to basically apply this shade all over my lid quite generously, using my finger for, you know, maximum glow effect. Oh, this is so pretty, and it works so beautifully with this brown. I'm going to apply just a tiny bit more of the brown matte shade right here into the outer corner, just for the tiniest bit of definition there. By the way, for those of you who do not have the C3PO palette, this specific shade, and like pretty much all the shades from the C3PO palette, are also present in her first Mega Mothership palette. So don't you worry about this shade not being in your collection. If you have that Mega Mothership palette, you have this eyeshadow. Now I'm going to take the second Mega Mothership palette. This is the Celestial Odyssey that came out for holidays 2021. And as you have probably correctly guessed by now, the shade that I'm going to go into is this beautiful shade here, the shade... Fuck, what was this called? Citrine Envy. Citrine Envy is one of the most beautiful greens you've ever seen. And I'm going to take Citrine Envy and apply it here as a bit of like an inner corner highlight moment. Starting to question my choices though. Is that a good idea? I don't know, actually. It's maybe adding a little bit too much of darkness. We are going to correct that, don't you worry. I think, unfortunately, I should have probably swapped the two shades around, but I really wanted the shade from the C3PO palette to take center stage on my lids today. But don't worry, we're going to fix a little bit of that dark moment that's going on now in my inner corners with one of the topper shades from the Seduction palette. Nothing we can't fix with a glitter topper. Speaking of glitter topper, now I'm going to go back into the Bronze Seduction palette and going to take this shade, the Astral, whatever this is called, Luna Gold, I think. And I was originally planning on only putting this all over the gold shade, but now that I think the inner corner turned out a little bit darker than I would have liked to, I'm going to basically put this all over, like inner corner, lid, just everywhere, so that we also get a little bit of that gorgeous greenish sparkle over top of the shade from C3PO. It's not really going to change C3PO shade too much, it's just going to add an extra layer of sparkle. And with Celestial Odyssey, it is actually slightly going to correct the undertone. Hopefully. Let's try. Yes, it's adding a little bit more of like that golden reflect and lightening it up. On my lower lashes, I'm going to take it quite easy and just apply the matte brown shade I put through my crease. Nothing fancy schmancy. We're being concise here, as I said. Very sorry for the lack of chats and for how bam bam wham bam I am today, but unfortunately this SD card is just too whimsical for my patience. So this is the final look. Overall, I quite like it. I have to be honest, I don't know that the green in my inner corner was the best idea. So I think if you want to replicate this look, you can just skip that green and apply like a lighter champagne gold or something like that in the inner corner to complete the look. I hope you enjoyed this video, despite it being a little bit shorter and more to the point and completely bereft of my ramblings. But hey, maybe you were like kind of sick of my ramblings and you just wanted me to get to the point. And today I just got to the point. Just FYI, on my lips I have applied the shade Deborah from NARS, which is this beautiful, very warm-toned chocolate brown. I did not apply it to full opacity though. I kind of like worked it into my lips as a bit more of a stain because I didn't feel like having a full-on chocolate brown lip, but just a hint of that because I think it completes the look really nicely. Let me know how you enjoyed this look. Let me know which blush duos you're picking up today. Let's all be reasonable Pat McGrath consumers and not pick up all the things we don't need. As usual, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!